Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mac from Cryptstar Staking here for another interstellar update for the Aleph Zero blockchain. There's been a lot going on Aleph Zero over the past month, and in today's video, I'm going to cover all of the main updates for the validator nodes, as well as the mainnet smart contract launch and partnerships, as well as other projects that are being built on the Aleph Zero ecosystem. Now, if you like Aleph Zero and you like learning more about what's going on in the ecosystem and you like these short 10-minute videos and you want to hear more about it, make sure to smash that like button and smash that subscribe button so you can get all of the latest updates. And of course, all of your comments, I read every single one of your comments, and anything you guys comment below, I'll try and take a look and cover it in a future video. So if there's anything else in the Aleph Zero ecosystem you want to know more about, please let me know in the comments below. And you can also hit me up on Twitter. So yep, my Twitter account is CryptstarMac. Check it out. I cover all of the Aleph Zero updates there as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. First, I'm going to do sort of the main updates for the ecosystem itself. So yes, we have 200 validators registered on the testnet. They also are going to, through telemetry.azero.dev, users can now track the status of the validators. And I covered this in a previous video, so you can check that out. You can see sort of the past performance of validators. So you can see if, I want to delegate to this validator because on testnet he did a very good job. Now, just to note, my validator nodes were down for a bit. So I went ahead and put them all up, updated them, and I put them on an auto recovery system, so I don't have to worry about them going down. Yeah, and we also got this new computer set up. So yeah, Cryptstar is going to have 3 testnet validator nodes running from now on. Now, new Grafana templates have been published, so you can actually manage your own validator node through Grafana. It's very nice. I'm going to actually set this up later this week for my nodes. Aleph Zero has been added to the onfinality.io to enable easier setup for validators. So that's really cool. You can check that out. Smart contracts will run on the Inc 4.0 programming language. So I'm going to be talking about Inc 4.0 later in this video. It has a lot of implications for Aleph Zero, so this is probably a part of the video that you want to see. And I'll go ahead and skip forward to that if you want to see it. Okay. And, Aleph Zero attended the Warsaw and organized its first hackathon. That was great. Okay. Let me see. My company, Poland, names Aleph Zero among the top 25 startups in the local scene. We all know that Aleph Zero has been, pushing forward really like crazy on Twitter, and I see a lot of engagement on YouTube as well. So I think Aleph Zero is very poised to do well during the next bull market. Yep. And they also surpassed 100,000 followers on Twitter. This is great. Okay, so that means that they're getting up there on the Twitter count. Aleph Zero partners with Interlock, a DeFi cybersecurity startup. So today I'll also be covering this Interlock partnership. I think this is really good news for Aleph Zero. Nova integrates with Parity Signer to create the first hardware Azero wallet. So I'm not going to talk about this too much because I don't have the Parity Signer, and I don't think this is Ledger compatible, and the only hardware wallet that I have is Ledger. And I think they might be just talking about the iPhone, using the iPhone as a hardware wallet, or using some sort of, offline device. I don't know if it's an actual hardware wallet or not, but maybe it's just a future hardware wallet compatibility thing. Super Colony and Aleph Zero partnered to fuel development on Substrate. Okay, so I talked about this earlier. This is not really a monthly update. Okay, first I want to jump into validator updates now. So these are some really key updates for you guys for running the testnet validator nodes. So yes, basically Antony Zolciak, he's talking here about they made it easier for you to go ahead and register to become a validator on the testnet. Okay, so they're going to implement, a really key note here is that they're going to implement some sort of punishment mechanism. So if your Aleph Zero node has a lot of downtime and they kind of notice it, and I think it's going to only happen from the future here. I don't think they're going to count past downtime. They're just going to do it from the moment that this feature is implemented, but please don't quote me on that. Yeah, so they're coming closer to mainnet release. We would like the validator experience on testnet to be as close as possible to what will happen on mainnet. For this reason, we will soon release an update introducing a mechanism for temporarily removing low uptime validators from the broad era committee. This is to ensure the network is healthy and that the rewards are indeed distributed to high availability validators for providing excellent service to the chain. We will share the technical details closer to the actual update date. So it looks like this isn't coming out anytime soon because they haven't really shown any technical details regarding this, but I would make sure that your validator node is up and running. Make sure you have plenty of disk space, okay? So, and another big update from Anthony, he went ahead and let us know that they're going to go ahead and reward the testnet validators. So if you're not yet a testnet validator, I definitely think it's high time to register to become a validator and to go ahead and run the validator node, because it looks like they're going to be doing some sort of airdrop or something for testnet validators. So I would highly recommend running a validator node. I've made several tutorials on my YouTube channel. Just Google Aleph Zero testnet validator node setup, or look it up on YouTube. Test Aleph Zero validator setup, and my YouTube video shows up at the very top. Click on that, set it up. You don't need a high spec computer for this. I would say you could probably run a testnet validator on 2 CPUs and 8 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, it doesn't require much processing power at all. I am literally using 4% of my CPU of my 8 cores. So yeah, you can run this on 2 cores if you really need to. And you know, they just want to have as many people as possible. Now, I don't recommend running the mainnet one on 2 cores. You're gonna hurt everything. So you're not gonna help the network at all with that. But for testnet, I think it's fine to run it on a much lower spec computer, and it might save you some cash as well. Okay, and yeah, so within the next 2 weeks, we'll be officially announcing the incentives. So yeah, it'll help your running costs make more sense from an economical standpoint. Very exciting, very bullish for Aleph Zero testnet validator nodes. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the smart contracts update, which is basically when validators can run finally on mainnet. And this is also when smart contracts will release on mainnet, which means that we can finally have some dApps coming out in the Aleph Zero ecosystem. So just a note, these are all probably some of the first dApps you're going to see on Aleph Zero. I would say Art Zero right here, the NFT marketplace, will probably be one of the first dApps on Aleph Zero. And Darkerverse, they'll probably be one of the first sort of gaming dApps on Aleph Zero as well. And I covered that in a previous video, so I'm not going to cover that today. Inc 4.0. So a really big thing to note about Inc 4.0 is that you can see here, Aleph Zero is a sovereign network in the novel Aleph BFT consensus protocol at its core. And here we go. So yes, the consensus has been our primary focus for the initial 2 years of development. It has been vital to have it properly peer-reviewed and audited. Once done, we all sought to integrate it with the substrate stack, which was done. A library of ready-to-use components that would vastly shorten Aleph Zero's time to market and allow the team to focus on privacy-enhancing technologies. That's one of the biggest reasons that I'm here. I like these privacy-enhancing technologies. Aleph Zero is one of the largest chains, including Polkadot and Kusama parachains, utilizing the substrate framework. This means that we can run on Polkadot dApps very easily, right? So one part of that framework, you guessed it, is the smart contracts. Currently, the Aleph Zero testnet is operating smart contracts compatible with Inc 3.3.1, the latest major iteration of Inc, a smart contract programming language. Okay, so one thing to note about Inc 4.0. The new generation of Inc brings significant improvements over the previous version. Contract size optimization has been vastly improved, resulting in smaller sizes of compiled contracts and reduced storage fees when deploying a contract. So that means less fees when you're deploying contract, especially for people who are doing minting, things like that. The whole storage logic has been reworked to further reduce the space a contract instant occupies on chain. Okay, the developer experience is improved by reducing boilerplate and making the whole process of contract storage management much simpler and more transparent. The everyday life of a smart contract developer will be improved thanks to the new testing tools allowing for creating end-to-end tests. So one issue with this is that it is not compatible with the older version of Inc. So all the older versions of Inc, all the other smart contracts, are going to have to be upgraded to this new, or have to be migrated to Inc 4.0, okay? And I think the biggest thing to note about Inc 4.0 is right here. Having all that in mind, after careful consideration, our team has decided to wait with the launch of smart contracts on the Aleph Zero mainnet until Inc 4.0 is released. With such a short time frame for a significant compatibility breaking update, we think it is much more responsible to wait a few weeks instead of rushing and launching technology that would become obsolete days after going live. This decision is not only beneficial for the long run, it is a must-have for the short term as well. So I think that they were planning to launch these smart contracts here soon, probably in October, November timeframe. Now I'm guessing they're pushing it probably to December, January, February timeframe. Personally, that's fine for me, especially with the market conditions the way they are. It's better to go ahead and build as much as possible while we are in a bear market and then release a really solid platform during the bull market, or at least later in the bear market, or while we're doing the capitulation phase. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on to Aleph Zero Global Tour here. So yes, Aleph Zero did basically do a little tour in November. Yeah, pretty exciting. They're going around the world. So if you are in Singapore, London, Istanbul, Berlin, or Lisbon, make sure to go ahead and check out the Aleph Zero team. Give them a visit and say hi, what's up. Learn more about the Aleph Zero ecosystem. Really cool, guys. Okay, Interlock Network. So this was a really interesting project to me. So it looks like they're kind of launching some sort of Brave competitor. So Brave is the browser I'm currently using right now, and it's kind of annoying because it doesn't work very well, and there's still a lot of phishing attempts and hackers going in and trying to steal your private keys. So I'm really excited that they finally have a cybersecurity specialist team working on a proper, at least a proper browser extension, I guess. It looks like it's not going to be a, it's not going to be a, it's not going to be an actual new browser, but it will be a browser extension that will scan websites for phishing attempts and kind of secure the browser through the blockchain, some sort of blockchain technology. And you'll be able to lock your tokens and use that to go ahead and, you know, kind of protect your browser from being hacked. Anyways, looks pretty cool. They did team up with Aleph Zero, and we'll see how this works out. Okay. I might do a video more in depth on this later in the future. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about MyContainer, because I think this is very bullish news for Aleph Zero, because it allows for people to go ahead and easily jump into the Aleph Zero ecosystem. So basically what's going to happen with MyContainer is it's like an all-in-one staking platform, DeFi platform, and it is a third-party, what do you call it? They're going to be holding your tokens and your private keys, but they're going to have a lot of security measures on top of it, two-factor authentication, all sorts of like pretty much all sorts of different kinds of two-factor authentication is going to be enabled on this platform. Well, it is enabled, and it'll allow people to stake their Aleph Zero tokens and participate in Aleph Zero DeFi protocols without having to actually, you know, do it from the website itself. They can just do it within this MyContainer app, and the private keys will all be managed by the MyContainer team. So a lot of people, they don't want to worry about their own private keys, and if they lose their, you know, password or whatever, they want to be able to have a third party be responsible for that. So MyContainer makes this possible, and I think this is going to be a normal service in the future. Web 2.0, Web 3.0 is going to be merged here for at least 10 years, I think, until the full migration to Web 3.0 actually happens. So I think these services like MyContainer are going to be beneficial to onboard new users. So very bullish news for Aleph Zero. Now let's move on to one of my favorite projects on Aleph Zero here, Azero Punks. Okay, they do have this new, it looks like some sort of game that you're going to be able to play, or a story game. So, and only Aleph Zero Punk holders will be able to participate. So yeah, they're going to be whitelisted here. Yeah, The Legend of Scatter Zero. And it's brought to you by Azero Punks. So it's actually a mini project that's being built on the Aleph Zero Punks. So before the Aleph Zero Punks are even launched, they already have a mini project launching on it, which is really bullish for me. Okay, some other notes here is that, yeah, Aleph Zero Punks is slowly growing in their Twitter followers. Here you can see they have 6,000 Twitter followers, slowly getting up there in the ranks. So yeah, they also having this, let's see. They're also having the Skellies launch, and I think this is one of the different Azero Punks that you can get. Hopefully I get a Skelly. I like collecting the skeleton NFTs just because I have them on Tezos, and now I want to collect them on Aleph Zero. So it looks like if I can get a few mints, possibly I can get one of these cool Skellies. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by Azero Punks. I mean, if they want to hit me up and, you know, ask me to do some giveaways for them, I'd be more than happy. But yeah, very excited for the Azero Punks here. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it for the Azero updates today. Thank you for viewing. If you have any more projects you want me to go ahead and cover in my next video, please let me know, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out. Tell me